This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
All right, guys, that's it. That's enough. That's enough of this in general. And do you know what? Like, I'm done with the Oscar stuff. I'm done with the Oscar
Mission
stuff.
250 Filmcast.
That's the end of it.
I'm done.
Yep, we're done.
I think I'm done.
Have we? We haven't watched all.
No,
the
we
films,
haven't.
though.
That's okay, John. That's
No, we
okay.
don't need to.
I want to watch. I want to watch Worst
You
Person
can watch
in the
it,
World.
and we can put it in later. This movie broke me, man. So this
Yeah.
week we're watching.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
listening to the Mission 250 Filmcast. So most of the time we watch the best movies ever made. We've been going on an Oscar binge because it's Oscar season.
Yeah, we've
And
been
this
looking
week-
forward to this one. It had lots of buzz.
This movie has the most Oscar nominations by a foreign film. It's got like Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay,
But
Best
ever?
Foreign Picture, and Best Picture. No, not ever, but like for this year.
For this year, for sure, yeah.
This is like the last time this happened was Parasite, and that movie was loved by all of us.
Yes.
So I kind of, expected to go. My bar was high going into this one.
Oh, Denny's going down. He's going down.
So we've watched,
He's
we watched
negative.
3 out of the 5 foreign
He's
movies. This is the 4th
That's
one
right.
we've watched.
Yeah.
The only one we haven't watched is The Worst Person in the World because it's not available yet in this country. This
Right.
one is Drive My Car, 2021, directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi. Pretty sure I said that right. This is a Japanese
I
movie.
mean, it sounded dead on to
why
me.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The synopsis is after I'm gonna do the synopsis in this one because
Go
it
for
doesn't
it.
matter. After
Yeah.
his wife's unexpected death, Yusuke Kafuku, a renowned stage actor and director, receives an offer to direct a production of Uncle Vanya. Vanya? Who knows?
Vanya.
In
Vanya.
Hiroshima. There, he begins to face the haunting mysteries his wife left behind. This movie is 3 hours long.
Yep.
This movie I had to watch over 3 nights.
Oh, who
Oh,
goes first
wow.
here? Are you going to go first, Denny? You think you're rolling here?
All right,
No, I'm
Denny's
going
going
first.
first. Now
I got
it's
a
on,
rotation
baby.
in the
It's already
background,
on.
John.
It's
I got a
already
rotation
on,
in the
baby.
backgrounds.
You
It's
move.
already on.
You don't
Go,
think I have this
sir.
under control,
All right.
John?
Go, sir.
Yes,
Go.
right.
You think I,
Of
you think
course,
I'm not
sir.
steering this
I
ship
don't know.
with precision?
Yes, you do not. Normally, you're like,
Go,
I don't
sir.
know. Who's
You
doing
I've
first?
been,
shall
I've been
go.
doing good the last like 3 or 4 episodes.
You have. You've been on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm just not used to it yet. So keep going.
Yeah, I kind of knew this was I was going to line up here because I felt bad as I was watching. I'm like, I'm going to have nothing to talk about. This movie,
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know how
Aw.
you guys feel about it. And I was going to ask if one of you were positive on it. You might want to go first.
No, we're not. No, you're on. You're already on, bud. You chose. This is the life you chose.
I mean, I'm not
Okay?
hating it, but I'm not positive either.
Half this movie is watching people do a practice stage play, either reading out of a script or just reading lines in a room or practicing
Right.
in a park. That and him driving around in a car, reciting lines from the play, listening to a tape. That's an hour and a half of this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of that recitation's pretty deadpan too.
All the
Like,
acting
right.
outside
It
of that
is.
too
It's
is
deadpan.
also
Yeah.
deadpan.
Well,
It's deadpan,
there's that
yeah.
too, but in particular, that recitation bit is just really, really flat. And what's the
And
deal?
on
So this is-
purpose, right? Like there's a scene where people are like, "I'm trying to act it," and he's like, "You don't act it, just read the lines." I'm like, "Is this like a secret metaphor for the movie? Is this what the director is trying to do?"
I thought it was just because he wants them to focus on the content of the book first. That's what I thought. But have you ever heard of that? Reading a script, TC, and they do that knock after the.
I have not. I was like, is
I
that
mean-
what they do over there?
Okay. I mean, never seen or heard of such a
I've
thing.
never. Yeah. Well, I wasn't in theater either, so maybe they do that in
well,
theater.
acting
like,
or what? Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
more theater, I
maybe
don't
they
know.
do it in
That's
like
true.
play stuff, like theater stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
I
but it's a fair point, Denny. There's a lot of monotony in this.
It's
a lot.
It's mind blowing how and like the monotony isn't good looking. It doesn't sound particularly good. There's like even I'm trying to follow the story. I'm like, is there supposed to be some kind of double metaphor in the story of Uncle Vanya that's supposed to apply to this
Yes.
story? But like,
Yes, everything.
Yes, everything
it's
is
all
yes.
there. I
Yes.
didn't get it either, though. I mean,
Yes,
it just
it
felt.
is.
It felt.
Yeah.
Did you get
it's
it?
there, baby?
No,
I
no.
did. I loved this movie.
What?
So.
Woo,
Yeah,
you did.
Really? Yeah, I did.
Jeez,
what
Yes,
the
I did.
hell, dude?
That's
sat,
awesome.
I sat there and I was entrenched.
What
I was
fuck?
stuck. I couldn't move.
Are you
I sat there.
joking me
all
right now,
three-
TC?
I sat
Really?
there all 3 hours last night, just
It
staring at
gotcha.
the screen.
It
Yeah.
gotcha.
It got
That's
me.
awesome.
All right, can you just
Go.
describe to
Yeah,
me,
let's
please,
go.
TC?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm so
well,
confused.
So, yeah, I mean, look, it's all intertwined, right? So I kind of picked up in the beginning right away that like the story she's telling is based in her background. Like she did this. And then it started to click on my like, as he wasn't, so like when he first figured out that she was cheating on him and didn't really do anything about it, I started to realize it's because he's already heard the fucking stories. So like that whole thing had started. And so when he was writing this play, that play is part of the story.
But he didn't write the play. This is
but when he's reciting the stuff, he's thinking about all of the things that have gone on while that happened, right?
Yeah.
So he's hearing his wife talk and it's bringing him back to all these other things. So I started to just kind of connect the two, that they were like, oh, so this story is so close to the story of his wife that it's like it's blending into his reality and not blending into like
the story of the
memories.
girl going and masturbating in the guy's room.
Well, no, the story like throughout the entire film of him reciting stuff, because you'll notice the stuff
Uncle
that
Vanya, the
Uncle
play.
Vanya, yeah. You'll notice as he's reciting certain things, it's matching what just happened in the movie. So it's kind of like flowing in between them, and I was actually hooked. Because once I figured that out, I was like, damn, this is fucking crazy. The story is intertwined to the acting so well, but it's like they're acting in a play. It's also them in real life. It's then connected in so many ways because the actor that he hired is the one that slept with the wife. And then he's in the car with the other girl and he's listening to the wife speak. And like, there's so much of this connection between all these people. And it's kind of creepy, really. But I mean, I sat there and was like fucking in. I was in it. That movie was awesome. I was sitting there like I just felt like the writing was so, it just seemed to work. Like the things they chose to show us were fitting perfectly with the way the play was also being told to us, which also meant that you understood the story better about him and his wife because all of it was intertwined. So it was fucking like, I thought it was deep as hell. And I just got like, laid on my bed and watched. And at first I was like, Jesus, this is going to be a slow one. But then that story started getting weird. And then I realized, Jesus, that whole thing happened and we're just starting the movie.
When did that click for you?
So it clicked probably, I would say it clicked right at the 2-year part, right when
the credits rolled 41 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
I know.
I wrote it down. 41
it was
minutes.
41 minutes. I know. I looked it up too.
I turned to Naomi and I was like, "That's the intro," and she got up and laughed.
Yeah. So in my head, I had basically. It was good though. In my head, I had basically figured out now that like, okay, so this woman is fucked, right? I kept saying like, yo, your girl's a freak, like at the movie and shit. But seriously, that was about right at the time when it cut to the 2 years. And then I was like, okay, so now he's an important director somewhere and he's going to have to drive because the glaucoma, blah, 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 blah. But I'll tell you,
the glaucoma never came back because the reason he wasn't driving was because of something else.
The only reason it was there was because of the story the kid told later about being stabbed in the left eye.
No,
the story
but also,
but the story.
Shut up, John. I'm going to hear TC. He understands it.
The story. I don't
understand it.
Yeah. So basically, right, this woman was having sex with the kid from the play, right?
Right.
So the stories that she was telling, both of them were happening during both of their sex lives, right? So this kid was hearing stories, the other guy was hearing stories. So the story that Otto told,
story. It was the one story, right?
Yeah, but Otto would tell, I think, different little bits and pieces because she was
he heard like a latter half. He
heard later. He heard more
than
that, but he would. Yeah. I think they were trying to get at that, like. She's basically writing when she's having sex. So she's got a different, like her versions of her stories are changing a little bit per each time, right? So that whole part about the stabbing in the left eye was killing the husband was she knows that the guy was there. She knew that he had seen her having sex with that kid.
What?
Oh my God.
Yes.
I didn't catch
yes.
that.
I didn't get
in
anything.
that story. Yeah, in that story, you talk about the burglar. The burglar was the husband coming into that scene of them sitting
TC.
there. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So then when that's why the kid was telling him the story in the car because he's like, this is what I heard. I
thought it was all nonsense the entire movie.
Yeah. And so basically what that kid was saying to him was, we knew you were there.
Right. Or she knew.
Or she knew that you were there. And I knew that
I
figured this out. The kid
Yeah.
knew after he was told the story from another sex time.
Right.
So he figured it out while she was telling the story. Yeah. So
wow, TC.
I was connecting all that shit.
I think this is awesome that it got you. I think this might be a first for us.
That was, I mean, I told my mom, I'm like, you got to watch this. I'll watch it again with you. Like, this is fucking deep.
See,
What?
the glaucoma thing was more also too. It has like a symbolicism or like a metaphor because there's like he can't see. There's like something he's missing. Like he's
That
got
too.
a blind spot.
Oh, that
like
too.
he doesn't
I did
know.
not catch that.
Like he thinks he knows his wife, but there's this thing he does not understand. He cannot see. He's got this blind spot in his relationship that he does not understand.
What I was at was
but-
like, all right, there's this plot device here, is glaucoma. And then they don't use
Right.
that plot device to make him not drive. And they don't talk about it ever again.
Can't drive. Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
like, what the hell was the point of
No,
that
it was to set up that story at the end of her stabbing him in the eye, which essentially meant I killed him metaphorically, because she knows he's been dead ever since. Because she was aware of what happened, and that's what she wanted to talk
They
to him
give that,
about. But
they
she
give,
died.
right. They certainly hinted that, like that she is about to reveal things or discuss things.
It was fucked up too, because like he loved her to death, and she loved him too, but she had some issues that were going on that like
Right, they
wasn't
make
dealing
that very
with.
clear. I mean, that's why like it's very, very clear how much she loves him. They make that like really explicit.
Yeah, but in the hospital
know,
scene when she ran in
right,
and was
right.
like, "Oh my
all-
god, I'm
just
so
all
glad
that,
you're
you know.
okay."
Yeah, yeah. So they make that very clear that it's not like it's that she doesn't love him. Yeah. So wow, that's awesome, TC. What else? Keep going.
I mean, yeah, I thought a lot of it was just. I would have been more annoyed at the play stuff if I wasn't catching the story. Like, because I was catching the
parallels.
story and I was seeing, oh, I see what
Right.
they're trying to get at here. They're connecting these two worlds of his, and their story's basically the same.
Right, and everything is about that. Like, and,
Yeah.
and I did think like my favorite scene that I did like, and now I want to watch this again since so much has clicked for you.
Yeah,
You got 3
my favorite
hours
scene-
spare there, John, to rewatch
Yeah, I
the
know.
movie?
It was a long run, dude.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so bad.
But in the towards the end where the deaf woman has her arms around him and is giving that speech, that was really beautiful. I thought, even so, and just the juxtaposition of that, how she's like signing in front of him from like behind him with her hands in front of him, signing this really like kind of amazing stuff. I thought that was really moving. But
I just want to say where I was at, because I'm wrong and I'm happy for you. But I was like, all that stuff, just the fact that they're doing this play in a bunch of different languages, I'm like, they're not doing it except for the fact that they can advertise it, and all these artsy types will go and see it and be like, ooh, it's so freaking groundbreaking.
So the other way I took this, and I did read the short story that this is based on, so we'll have book corner. And,
Only
and
Denny would be pissed
No,
and
no,
trying
but
to make sure
I saw
people
it
can
too.
all read and hear the goddamn.
I don't
fucking-
trust the motives behind why they would do that.
I saw this too. I saw this artsiness, like, oh God.
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
great.
oh, and then this happens, and it just piles on artsy upon artsy. And oh, and then the driver's mom was crazy and had a split personality.
But you know what though?
I
I kind of let that stuff go because they made it seem like it was a 2-bit operation anyways, right? They had like nobody that auditioned. There was like a small amount of people.
That was confusing because we didn't see very much of the people waiting and stuff,
no one
right?
auditioned for that role because he was the one that was going to play it. So
But they
thought.
mention it's very brief that they mention that this, as a director, this is his style, is to use different languages in the in the plays.
in the beginning they show it
his,
on the
in the very
screen.
beginning, like that's
I know they
his
explain
thing.
it, but the fact that they put it in the movie, I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was
gonna
pretty
up
cool.
the art
what I
house
thought
in
it
this.
was, to be honest,
know, but
ratchet it
and I
up.
hate to say that, what I thought it was accessibility and inclusiveness in a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Because they got everybody that you can think of in that
Yeah,
play,
they
and
got-
like
they got,
everybody
like,
can join in because it doesn't matter what language you speak,
Right.
because you can see it on the board. There's like translations, and then if you're sign language, they're still going to have a translation. So
But I still thought that part was interesting. It was really neat to see that. I'd never seen anything like that where you either have like all sign language or this kind of combo
this
like
mix.
that where all the languages are blended. I know it sounds very very
because she
artsy,
was mute,
but it was cool.
she wasn't deaf or blind, right? So like,
right. She was just
she was just mute. So
Right.
like that's even
But
more.
she was still
out
very,
there.
very expressive. She was still acting, right? And so that was
She
Disagree.
did
pretty-
over and over
pretty
again.
cool.
I loved it.
Oh yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
acted in this
so,
movie.
yeah.
There's like one scene where people actually acted. The rest of
I
it,
guess you're right.
they just,
Yeah.
dude, to me, I wasn't into this movie at all. So maybe it was like really, really
Yeah,
subtle, but
yeah.
I did not understand
I felt
why
like there
they
was
were
a lot
so
of
wooden. They got
stoicism,
best
yeah.
director for this movie, which usually means the acting is like good. And I guess for some people, and I say good, that's a terrible descriptive word. It could mean anything, but it took you along, so that's good. But
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I honestly saw wooden line delivery
Yeah.
until there was that one scene where they were standing over the car driver's like mother's house. and they acted a little bit and then hugged each other, and that was it.
The weird thing in those two scenes was how still the other person was because like so. The driver talks a long time about her mother, and he just stands there and doesn't even quite look at her. He's like looking to the side, like statue.
Same thing happens when he's crying over the house and she doesn't do anything.
And then I'm
looking at her on the screen being like, she's literally looks like she's not interested in this story right now. Like,
I know,
this is so fucking weird.
That was weird. So I'm like totally, I can see both of your guys' side. Like if TC, if you were negative, I would be completely trashing it with Denny. Totally. I could
the weird
be like
thing is though,
because
like I've been thinking about this movie a lot. At face value, the way I look back on it, I feel like it's a bad Bergman movie where it's just overly artsy for art's sake. That's what it seems like. But when I was watching it wasn't like a Bergman movie in that same way. Like I wasn't actively mad at the movie when I was watching it. I was just sitting there like, really? You know, it's like knowing that it has all these awards and everyone likes it. I'm just like, it's really just people practicing for a play. That's like most of the movie. Yeah. And then the other part of it's just some story I don't really care about.
If you take the story, but see, I guess you weren't paying attention to the fucking story. So my mother would say, pay fucking attention.
I was paying attention. Every second of this movie, I was like, but if you were paying attention for me. I was waiting for it to click and it didn't click.
If you were able to pay attention because you had it click all the way through,
right?
You would have been a little bit right.
Because
like every single scene that changed, it had something to do with the last one, and the story and play was all intertwined in that. So you could sort of make so many connections based on the play into what it just like it's made for your own. So it's been made for your own imagination because you're basically completing the thought based on what the play words are about what's going on in the guy's life. So, and since you don't see it through the actor because he's wooden and he's just being like some stoic weirdo, you get to hear and know it through all the story. So I really liked that because
that's really cool. Maybe you sympathize that you like this. You sympathize with this idea of not showing that. Right?
Yeah,
like it coming out another way, or maybe I don't know.
So then
I totally get Denny. I thought things were wooden. I thought it was trying to be artsy for artsy's sake, and but I really wanted to like it. Too, because I could see these pieces, right? And the theme, maybe. I really like this theme of, and I've even got I'm going to even read you something from from a second book just because I like this theme so much.
We got book corner. Book corner's back.
We got a heavy book corner. But this idea of thinking you know somebody that you're close to and you don't and how that eats you up. Yeah.
But he knew he didn't know her, right?
No, but he doesn't know why. Like he doesn't know. He never had an explanation. He didn't know why. He knew what she did, but he did not know why because he knew that she loved him. He knew that they had a good relationship, and yet she did this, and that was so hard for him to understand.
Well, and that's why I really liked his. That's why I really liked his conversation with the kid in the limo.
And I did like that too, except so that kid looks just a tiny bit like later day Michael Jackson. Enough to where I was like, he's going to start singing Man in the Mirror because he's like, you just got to work on yourself. You just got to think about yourself. Yeah, you got to focus on yourself and make the change. You got to, anyway.
I was sitting there like, just like staring at the screen like, oh my God, I can't believe they're having this conversation. This would suck.
But that's the conversation of, but that conversation of like you can't know somebody or somebody's going to have their quirks and that is what it is. It doesn't reflect on you or your relationship with them. It's like she slept with other guys. That's the thing she did. But that doesn't mean that your relationship wasn't a good relationship or that you didn't know her or that you're not a good person. And that's such a great message. But I still thought he was going to like go, come on,
come on.
Come on. Yeah. He's gonna cheat on ya.
I didn't buy that he was gonna punch somebody. His like whole I'm gonna get mad at people for taking my picture little thing.
Right.
I didn't buy that at all. That was like the most unbelievable part of the movie.
But then we found out, but we didn't know why though up until that part where you apparently
until you figured out that he slept with an underage kid.
Right.
Or kids maybe multiple, so and then he had to abandon his like TV movie lifestyle to become a stage actor.
So then he's angry, and so then he takes that out on innocence, taking his picture.
But he murders somebody because of it? Come on. It took him literally 2 seconds to murder him, right? It was like 10 seconds he was gone. He's
like,
back.
I'll be right back.
I mean, you hit someone a couple times, they hit the ground, their head hits something.
I don't know.
He didn't seem very surprised.
Did you know that was going to come back?
I'll tell you one thing, he should have blood on him at least. I did too.
I say that, John, but I thought the glaucoma thing was going to come back. And even though it did in some ways, I didn't notice that it did.
It did,
that's true.
I was waiting for everything. I was like, all right, this movie's going so slowly. all of the little plot points that they put in here, they
Right.
have to mean something.
They did.
They have to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
why is this scene 10 minutes long?
They did. They all meant something.
Yeah, I would have. I did, and I wanted to like it too. I like. It's another scene where you get to see a lot of a different city, but it's more you see the roads.
Looks
of
like fucking
Tokyo.
New Hampshire.
It looks like a shitty little city. Yeah. I was like, I thought
what
about
am
that.
I seeing New
watching it.
Hampshire?
Because John
Yeah.
comes in like, oh, it's great to see other places in the world. This is like, this is a mediocre city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's this,
I guess so.
Wachusett Mountain
We're-
over there?
we're-
Yeah.
all we're
And it's
seeing
mostly
is
highways, right?
Mostly the roads. So
Yeah.
it's not as interesting.
It's like, all
but
right,
you're
we got
seeing
some
lots of roads.
60 mile an hour spaghetti going around.
I did like the friendship that he made with her in the car, though.
And
I thought
I
that
like
was
how they were filming
nice.
it all in the car. I think they were
They actually were
driving
in a
around.
car. I know.
Right.
I know.
That was
That's never been done
that-
before. Filming in a
It
car.
has.
No, I know.
Yeah, well,
Has
no,
it?
no.
I'm sure it
But
has.
usually they put them on like a
It
truck
happens
or
all the
something,
time.
you know?
You guys
Nowadays,
are
they just
acting
do
like it's something
no,
special.
nowadays
but-
they do it in the green screen.
Kenny,
though.
they did it in a car, and they drove in a car
You can't-
all over
you
the
can't put a
place.
camera
you
in a
can
car.
see them bouncing
Where do you
around.
put the camera in
like
the
that.
car?
You can't
What do you
fake the
do about the
bouncing,
microphones? I don't know.
When they
Well,
wrote the book, it was like it
was very
a
long.
manual.
was
What's-
very
oh, yeah.
long. So I don't know. You know, it's not accessible because
I'm just glad
3
it took
hours.
you. It did.
But
It
it
got
had me
you, and
down. Oh, yeah.
I wish it had
Nailed
got
it.
us. I mean,
I
'cause
honestly
it-
had to shut it off because I was losing focus. Like
Yeah.
I got like an hour and 20 minutes in the first night, and I was struggling to pay attention to what they were saying. And I was like,
no,
I have
me
to
too.
stop because
Yeah.
like there's a lot more of this
But
movie.
seriously,
And-
every little thing that happened in there was some sort of like you should be paying attention
Yeah.
because it's coming back up again. So there, I mean,
Maybe we-
I'm
Yeah.
trying, dude. Trying my hardest.
I think if you're able to find that early, you're going to be all right. But if you're not, then I would have been. And then if you turn it off, you're going to come back the next day. You're going to be forgetting whatever. The
Yeah,
fuck
I
was
watched
going
it
on.
over 3 nights too.
There's
So,
no way
I
that's
mean,
going to be
maybe
a
Three
good time
Nighters
for
Club,
this.
yeah, John. I've never watched a
That's
movie
right.
over 3
I can't
nights,
split
ever.
movies up like that.
No, I never do. This movie's
Yeah.
3 hours long though, and I struggled every night to finish.
Well, then I
the
can
hour.
see how you do that for
I've-
sure.
Yeah. It's tough.
I'm
but-
so happy. I am a betting man. If somebody offered me a bet to whether or not TC would like this, I would have bet a lot of money that he
That you
wasn't
said
gonna
no.
like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
once
it's
in a while.
foreign.
Every
It's
once in a
foreign,
while.
It's slow. It's long. I mean, that's what I was thinking too. Just because of the nature of it, I didn't think. And
It's artsy, it's
and
about
It's
acting.
artsy. It's pretentious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could have if you
I-
went
I
that
look,
direction. Right? I
every
think
once
it's
in a
awesome
while,
that
you know?
it got you.
I
I
get
do
a-
too.
I sat down and I actually watched something and I liked it. Who
I feel
knows?
like Elaine that hasn't had sex, you know, and you're George that hasn't had sex, and we're in that Seinfeld episode where
Oh yeah, I'm just learning.
Elaine becomes dumb and
100%.
Oh God, that's awful.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know.
Like I haven't had sex in so long.
No,
I'm a
no, no, no.
genius by now.
It's-
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Right? That's what happened here.
That's
you
what's
know?
I got that going
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a genius now.
Oh,
I've been
God.
learning
No,
so
no,
much
no.
shit. You have
It's
no
just-
idea.
It's
Yeah,
just
I'm
a movie will speak to you. Like Danny had Hand of God really spoke to him for some
That's
goddamn
true.
reason. You know,
yeah,
and-
I agree. But a
Right.
movie like this has never spoken to TC before is the only thing,
No,
right?
well, no, I know. I think there's been one
Here
other
and there.
time. I've said it. I remember saying before this has never happened where like TC liked a movie that and Denny and I did not, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
I can't.
Cinema
I like
remember.
Paradiso.
sappy. I like sappy movies.
He
you
was
know?
okay. He was okay with Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah.
You were okay with it.
I was okay with
we,
it.
We loathed it.
Yeah. It was so stupid. It was hard not to be.
I
You just like
know.
make fun of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah, but
good.
it didn't bother you.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. Right. I didn't come in hot, hating
Yeah.
it, waiting to kill somebody. Right.
Right.
And maybe
so-
you know what? Maybe I was
maybe
just
you're
in the mood
changing,
for a
man.
movie like this. You know, it was just what it is.
It did show, it did really show their relationship and how passionate they were for each other. And it was interesting. Again, he was so wooden though. It was hard. He was like so stoic. He's beautiful. He's a very attractive guy.
It was a very strange thing. Yeah, he didn't really move, and it was like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He
was so
interesting to look at
brooding that he
again. Because,
couldn't
but he was
move.
very brooding, but yeah. So that was just
Because he's hiding his
interesting.
emotions. That's what I kept thinking. The
Well, I
direction
know,
here is
right.
hide your emotions, and he's a
Right,
good
right.
actor, so he can do it. Therefore,
He can do
stone
it.
face for 3
He can do
hours.
stone
cold.
face. Yeah.
Stone cold.
Easiest direction ever. Don't move your face.
Right.
Got it.
Don't move your
Yeah.
face, right? And then we got
How
some
about this thing? Can I
Botox
move
if
my
you
face?
need it.
No, don't move your face.
Hey! You tweak. You
No,
move.
you did.
Do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah.
I dare
Do it
you.
again. You kind of smiled there.
Yeah.
Don't do
Cut,
that.
Cut,
Less
cut.
blinking. Less blinking.
Yeah,
Get the water guy. Get the
Your
eyedropper guy
eyeline's
come
not
out.
right.
Look at me. I
Yeah.
don't want to see you breathe. All right. I don't want to even think you're alive.
And I
Yep.
saw you shift
Anyway.
your weight from one foot to the other. No.
Yeah, I was right. No,
Stand
Nope.
still.
that's
Yeah.
too human.
Yeah, in that one spot, don't move. Got it?
That they were so still in those last scenes when they were talking. They were pouring out their hearts. It was so weird.
Every
Both
scene they were
him and
still.
her.
They were
Really-
still
they
being
really
totally
were.
In those, in
They
the
really
end,
were.
it was maybe it was just the contrast where one was actually emoting for once, and the other was very, very still.
For
It
once.
was extremely
Yeah, you
bizarre.
think like the scene where there's emotion going on, both people would be emotion, but just like, all right,
Yeah.
still just one. Really, we're keeping the emotions as low as
Is
possible.
it a Japanese thing though? It might be.
I thought
I don't
that too.
fucking know.
That was I don't think
I don't
so,
know.
but that was a fleeting thought because I was trying to
No,
figure
I
out
think it
what
is,
the
guys.
direction was.
It's a good time. It's a bad time. It's 3 hours long. That's all everybody needs to know if they want to
But
see it or
it
not.
says something that at least hits one of us, that there's something to it.
Yeah.
If all three of us hate it, it must be trash. But,
Right.
but if it gets to one of
Right.
us, I don't know.
Yeah, I really thought it was good.
Yeah, that's good on you, man.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised and happy for you. I'm jealous. Really.
That's true.
Because if
Yeah.
you invest in 3 hours, I want to come out being like,
Right.
yeah,
Well, this
nice.
is a film that I think that this is a film that's likely going to win some things and be quite celebrated. Like it was
Nah.
so great when Paris. You don't think it's going to win anything?
It
I
lost,
think it will.
it lost the Palme d'Or to T-Tane and A Hero.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it lost the Palme d'Or to T-Tane, and then it lost the whatever the second place one is to A Hero.
Damn, I wonder what's going to happen. I'm really interested in the Oscars now, just in the international category because we watched them.
It's weird how
Um,
T-Tane and A Hero didn't get nominated for Oscars.
Nothing, huh?
And they were the ones that got the
They were
Palme.
too
Were they out
good,
in time?
Too good.
Was the
Yeah,
hero out
they
in
were.
time? Yeah, no shit.
T-Tane's not surprising because
That thing's fucked up.
yeah.
Well, but also I don't know. Maybe they want to use this to give people who haven't before more of a chance. It's more of a an acknowledgement of new talent, almost like because of
Like
the hero.
Lunata?
Right.
Lunata?
Right. Well, exactly. Well, like a hero that
It's like a
director is-
participation award
He's
almost?
good. Almost. I wonder because
Hey,
it's
good
almost
try.
trying to recognize new talent that's not in Hollywood. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they sort of like utilize that one. It's like, nah, the heroes guys got this already. So same with T-Tane. That director has already won everything. But maybe that's why it's for that particular
Shouldn't be.
category.
Should
I
be
don't
That's
know.
not how
based
they
on the
usually do
merit
it,
of the
though.
work.
Maybe that is the
Yeah,
formula,
right.
but usually they just like follow the steamrolling of a certain movie
I know.
for like the
I'm
regular
totally making
awards.
shit up, but that would be an explanation.
Like
But, yeah.
watch the Power of a Dog win. It's not going to be surprising. It's going to win most of the things.
Right. Yeah.
Disappointing.
And fucking Dune's going to be sitting there with all the technical awards being like, yeah, I'm all set. This is
Like
it."
a
we
new
did
green screen.
sci-fi. Us and Star Wars. That's what we get.
Yeah.
Well,
No, we're
that's
going back to sci-fi next week,
Well,
guys.
what's the book corner then?
Ooh,
Oh,
book corner.
We are going to go
Yeah,
back.
what's
We're
the
gonna go
book
back.
I think we should go
corner?
back.
I
wanna go
you
back.
wanted to- Nikki is going to be so happy to hear we're finally doing Aliens. She's been waiting for a long time.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I've been waiting
that
too.
DVD has been sitting.
I thought
on
we
our
had to
desk
go
for
watch some
months.
other subtitle bullshit.
Nope.
We'll go there. Denny's ready. Denny's ready.
I'm ready.
So we'll go
I'm
back to some
fucking
classic sci-fi horror. So book corner. So Drive My Car is based on a short story. Short stories by Haruki Murakami, and the short story collection is called Men Without Women. And you can guess pretty easily what the title
We
is. or
become
the general
geniuses.
theme is.
I'm telling you.
Right. One thing that's different. I mean, the short story is very short. It took me like half the time to read the story as the movie. So it
So
is
4 hours?
quite a short story.
Zing!
Half the time.
Audience, John looks very upset right now. Just to let you know.
Denny
He
can't
did not
nap,
appreciate
is it?
that joke.
No. Yeah.
And he does not appreciate being
And
interrupted
try to
again.
explain something and you just take it the wrong way on
I'm going
purpose
to have
just
to
be an
apologize
ass.
off the air after the episode.
That's
Back to
fine.
you, John.
That's fine. All right. I work really hard sometimes, and then you just try to be a dick. And
Hey,
it's
I'm
just
this will
hard.
be- I mean, I'm
And then
happy
you're
Book
like,
Corner's
why
back.
are you mad? Because I was a dick. And it's like, because you were a dick. That's why I'm mad. Why? Anyway. So,
Then why are you friends with me, John? That's a question you have to ask yourself every
what?
week.
John's going to start writing a short story,
I know,
Denny, every
I know.
time.
I ask it more and more often. It's like the glaucoma thing. It's the thing you can't see. Why do you hang out with people that are assholes? I don't know.
I don't
It's just
know.
Because I live in the middle of nowhere
know.
and have no other
Yeah,
friends.
right.
Shit.
Oh. You dick.
Still an asshole. Still a fucking asshole.
Hey, I'm
After
just
all
telling
that,
the truth,
he's just being told. He's just being told.
Man, you've
Still
been
an ass.
saving up because I haven't done this for a while. And you just like to kill me as I
saving
do
up.
it. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
You've been agitating me for like the
I
past
know,
6
I know.
episodes.
I've been really learning the joy of
It's
making
fun.
you annoyed.
Welcome to it.
See this smile? This is a genuine smile. I feel happy right now. It's good stuff.
So he says.
I'm
he's
glad
brooding.
that I can make you happy by you making me sad.
Yes.
Or annoyed. So that's okay. It's a fair trade-off. The car is different in the story. The car is.
It's not a Saab.
It is.
It is
yellow, though.
but it's a yellow convertible.
Oh, okay.
So where there in a lot of the scenes in the story, the top's down, and you can sort of think about why that's not very practical. And for the movie,
like when you're shooting on a car.
If they want to do all those individual scenes, I don't know how they're going to do like that with the wind and everything, and get good sound and whatnot, and have people's hair blowing all over hell. So they're not going to do that. The story is tons more simple. Really, you can boil, and spoilers for the story if you want to read it. It's okay. I thought it was very short and just like, oh, okay. It really is this one simple point of his wife slept with other men, and she died from cancer. So it was a prolonged death. It wasn't a sudden death as in the movie. But he never confronted her. And the reason in the book he never confronted her is because he felt that if he were to, that would be the end of their relationship. It would just have to end. That there's no like dealing with that. He knew that she'd slept with other men, and there's nothing in the book about her wanting to even hint at talking to him about it. That's all. This is all contrived in the film. So in the book, it's a very more singularly focused. He does have the glaucoma, and he has the driver. But the story takes place all in the present.
Why does he have the driver in the book?
Because he has the glaucoma, and he just always has a driver.
So it's because of the glaucoma that he has the driver?
Mm-hmm. But
so it was just in there for the book, but they changed it
too. So it also like there was alcohol involved when he got into the accident, and so he didn't have a driver particularly for this particular studio. It was just now he has a driver. The driver's history is minimal. It's not like all this mom stuff that comes in at the end. None of that happens. There's no, he's not a director in the story. So he's just an actor, and they're doing Uncle Vanya. So there's some quotes from Uncle Vanya.
Some connection.
Yeah, but he's not a director. He doesn't cast the boyfriend. The deaf girl is not in at all. So the story is far more simplistic. It does focus on this idea of how he didn't know someone. He felt like he knew her, and it just eats at him that she slept with other men, and he never got to understand why. And she's dead, and it eats at him that he never really confronted her, but he didn't want to because he valued the relationship so much. But that's really mostly it for the book. The book isn't really more than that. So when I read sort of like, I watched like the first half of the movie and then I had read the story. So I was sort of annoyed with the movie just because I was like,
it was like way different than the story.
The movie added all of these things that seemed to sort of like be superficial to this like singular point. Oh, the car was a manual also in the
very important
story.
To know.
Well, because he describes how she could shift and he wouldn't even feel
right.
it.
Yeah,
he describes nicely in the story how like she could shift
even
gears and he wouldn't even know.
But she was an automatic, so
right. Yeah, so I mean that's not as big a deal.
She just puts her foot on the gas.
Right. So that really is all. That's about it. I mean, I do like this theme. This theme of not knowing somebody what you think you know. I think it's such a really cool theme to explore when you think you're really close to somebody.
I think it's the type of thing nobody wants. I don't want to fucking explore that shit. You keep that shit to yourself. I don't fucking know.
One other thing in the book, he's not attractive. He's kind of balding. He's not a sexy guy. I mean,
which is why she had the other men probably.
Right, maybe.
I like it how John these days he's afraid of calling any women sexy to appear sexist, but he has no qualms calling a dude sexy whatsoever.
No, I can call her. She's also I'm just saying she's described in the story as sexy. She is sexy in the story.
Who is the driver or the wife?
Movie. The wife. In the story and the movie, the driver is supposed to be plain. But the wife in the story and the movie, she's very sexy. In the story, the main character is plain and balding and not like
a hunky fucking
like
I'm a director. Yeah, I have a Saab 900 turbo.
Right.
I'm gonna take my shirt off on camera. Look good.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's gorgeous in the movie. I mean, he's a very striking looking guy. Right. I think he is. He's a good looking guy.
He looked good on camera. Very chiseled jaw, some right angles, symmetrical face, head of hair.
Good shadow.
Nice.
Good shadow.
Had some nice pec definition there, some arm definition with the shirt
Good.
off.
Totally.
Hey, he knows the definitions.
Just the hairless chest, you want
hair.
that.
Also, his beautiful hair. He had like thick hair. It was just really nice. Good haircut. He looked awesome. He looked much better than.
Can't disagree with anything John said.
I don't know what to say.
My favorite part of the movie.
Just nod and say yes.
He looked much better than the supposedly sexy young guy. That was
that kid
opposite
was
of him.
weird.
No, he looked like he was in one of those like boy band things or whatever.
Yeah, he looked like he had a K-pop band or something. Yeah, for real.
The story also plays up more the idea of acting and how you play roles, and how he gets sort of another aspect of it for him, which I don't think they really explore too much in the movie, is how he ends up playing the role of the husband because he doesn't feel real anymore because she's sleeping with other men. And so to him, it becomes an act to be the nice husband who doesn't think anything is going on. And so the story talks a little bit more too about how then, because she's sleeping with other people and he's unwilling to confront her, that he then ends up acting for like years in their marriage, and how and the impact that has, and that messes him up too. And that was really interesting. I don't think the movie really explores that sort of acting side of things. How he became more of he was like shallow and felt like that he was just playing somebody because he could not let his wife know he knew about what was going on.
I had a thought that maybe he was not acting anymore because he'd been acting and he couldn't do it anymore because he was acting.
That's an interesting point. Yeah,
as his life. So it had broke him to being a real actor because
and that was right. The story had nothing like that. The story was more had nothing about the acting parts really.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that shit sucked, right? Like that would be so brutal. You come home, fucking flight's canceled, and c'est la vie.
Right. Well, and again in the movie, in the story, he never actually catches her with anybody. He just knows. He doesn't see anybody. He's like it explicitly says that he's never caught her in the act, but he just knows that's happening.
I mean, right.
Yeah. Another thing that happens that's a little bit different is he does is establish a relationship with the young actor. But again, he's not a director. So what he does is just he goes and he hangs out with him at a bar. Like he actually seeks him out and he gets him to talk about her. And he's sort of fascinated to hear this young actor who's clearly in love with his wife still after she's dead, and is also upset because in this book, the young actor was not allowed to see his wife as she was slowly wasting away. She refused to see him, and that really upset the young actor. And he talks about to the driver, because again, this is all like told in the story retrospectively to the driver, that he sort of thought about just ruining this guy's career. He thought about like figuring out ways to get some kind of revenge. And he didn't even know why he wanted to do that. He didn't even really want to hurt the guy. He was just conflicted and tortured by this, and tortured that she slept with this other guy and he knew it, and he was left without her. And he decides not to. But that's kind of this other interesting sort of aspect.
Wuss. Right? Never confronts anybody. He's been walking around through his whole life just
no, he just said the rage vanished.
No sound, just silence.
What he said was he had all of this rage because of what happened, and he wanted to blame somebody. He wanted to take it out on somebody, and it seemed to make a lot of logical sense to just take it out on this guy, because you could logically think, well, he's the guy who slept with my wife. I can hate him. But he came to a realization that his rage had nothing to do with this particular person. This particular person didn't, he slept with his wife, but that wasn't really
who
what
didn't,
he was
am I
mad
right?
about, right? That really wasn't what he was mad about. So again, the story just had these really interesting aspects to it that I think is interesting. I mean, and the guy, again, all of that, the drama of him beating up the other guys, none of that's in the story at all. This guy is just an actor who was doing other acting jobs, this young guy, and he had a drink. This other guy had a big drinking problem. And so the main character actually felt a little sorry for him.
Yeah, well, that's what it seems like in the movie, too.
Yeah.
They got to a point where he felt like, like your kid was pathetic. He can't fucking, he's got no control over anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just really interesting,
Yeah. I don't think it needed to be 3 hours. I'll tell you that much. They could have cut out a few things.
I feel like the movie was
you know?
entirely different than there's
the
a kind of a
story.
central theme in the story, and then the book is just far more just pointed. I think it's far more focused than and less like grand in scope.
It's only an hour and a half to read it.
Yeah. But as I said, so I really love this theme of not knowing people. I think it's really fascinating, you know, especially people you think you're close to. So I want to read so now I'm going to, in Book Corner, bring in another book that's completely unrelated to the movie. And I'm going to do a bit of reading if you guys don't mind.
I forgot about
for a
this
while.
part of Book Corner.
Yeah?
Sure, what the hell?
This time
Unrelated
I'm preparing
Book Corner.
you for it. Unrelated Book Corner.
Unrelated Book Corner with John.
This is one of my favorite quotes from a book. It's a bit lengthy, so if you'll bear with me and just kind of hang with me as I read for a little bit, guys. And if it's really boring, Denny, you can cut it out.
If I fall asleep, just wake me.
Yeah. So this is a quote from American Pastoral, which is a book by Philip Roth, Pulitzer Prize winning book. But it's a really kind of wonderful book. But in this book early on, he addresses this topic. So I'm going to read for a bit. All right. Ready, guys?
I'm ready.
All right. So you fight your superficiality, your shallowness, so as to try to come at people without unreal expectations, without an overload of bias or hope or arrogance, as untank-like as you can be, sans cannon and machine guns and steel plating half a foot thick. You come at them unmenacingly on your own 10 toes instead of tearing up the turf with your caterpillar treads. Take them on with an open mind as equals, man to man, as we used to say. And yet, you never fail to get them wrong. You might as well have the brain of a tank. You get them wrong before you meet them, while you're anticipating meeting them. You get them wrong while you're with them, and then you go home to tell somebody else about the meeting, and you get them wrong all over again. Since the same generality goes for them with you, the whole thing is really a dazzling illusion, empty of all perception, an astonishing farce of misperception. And yet, what are we to do about this terribly significant business of other people, which gets bled of the significance we think it has, and takes on instead a significance that is ludicrous? So ill-equipped are we all to envision one another's interior workings and invisible aims. Is everyone to go off and lock the door and sit secluded like the lonely writers do in a soundproof cell, summoning people out of words and then proposing that these word people are closer to the real thing than the real people that we mangle with our ignorance every day? The fact remains that getting people right is not what living is all about anyway. It's getting them wrong that is living. Getting them wrong and wrong and wrong, and then on careful reconsideration, getting them wrong again. That's how we know we're alive. We're wrong. Maybe the best thing would be is to forget about being right or wrong about people and just go along for the ride. But if you can do that, well, lucky you.
That's true.
I don't know if I agree with any of that stuff.
I like the end.
I love it.
I like the end. I think that's true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's you may not agree with it. I just think it's
I mean, it's weird. I don't think I think I take such a hard stance at one end of the spectrum. I don't think it's one end of the spectrum.
No, I
It's
think
not
all
that nobody knows anybody.
all
and there's no
he's trying
chance.
to say is that you just got to let things go, and you're not. Your job as a living being isn't to figure out other people.
I think that I've experienced, well, I mean, for me, I've experienced many, many times. I think I know somebody and I don't. I think I understand what makes somebody tick or who they are or what kind of person they are. And then something happens and I realize that I had no idea. I really didn't know. And I think, yeah, I mean, maybe with a lot of people, like we can say like, look, all three of us here, we know each other. We think we know how each other works. One of us can go and just do something completely off the wall.
That's me. Hi, guys.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. We'd expect
Usually
to be,
me.
We expect to be TC, right?
Right.
But
no,
right?
Have you
Because you're
met
the
me?
unhinged one, supposedly.
Yeah.
But it might not be. And if it isn't, we all just shrug and go, well, didn't see that coming. You know, I mean, it happens.
It happens.
We think we know people, and I think it's just so hard to understand things and conceptualize
That's
things.
part of
This
knowing
relates
people,
to,
though. I feel like that's the statement I don't agree with is like, we don't know people because they do unexpected things. But that's part of what you know about people is that they're capable of doing
that they're
unexpected
random.
things.
Yeah. Right, but I think
well,
just
but that's
this
because
idea,
you're going along for the ride.
But we're
which is
always
also his
creating.
What
point.
else can you do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you're actually proving the guy's point.
No, that's what he's saying. It's like this is what you have to do. And,
That's
but I do like this refrain, which is just that we're wrong. That's how
You're
we know
wrong.
we're
You're
alive.
wong, and then you try, and then you're wrong again.
Hey, all I want to know
but
is,
I like it.
You're
Almost
right.
like
all you guys
almost
need to
Come
like-
on.
know is you're
Anyway.
both wrong. Okay, that's all I got.
I think he's
that's
wrong,
what I know is
and
right.
that proves
is
his
you're
point, which makes him
wrong.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I
You
just
two
wanna say-
are wrong, and I know that much. All right.
I just want to say that I appreciate you letting me read that without rudely interrupting me. So thank
Yeah.
you.
No, it was
well, it
well
was actually
read,
nice.
and
Yeah,
I like the
very
language
well
a lot
read.
in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
But I
agree.
heartily disagree.
Yeah, but just remember, John, that you're wrong.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm wrong.
Right.
See?
Yeah. You too,
I
Denny.
like this guy, and I'm wrong about that.
He wrote something that if you disagree with it, it makes him right. Shit.
That's right.
It's
No.
perfect.
Asshole.
It's
He's
a
still
perfect
wrong.
statement.
Based on the logic, he's still wrong.
Yeah, wrong,
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
wrong
right.
again.
You're wrong.
I
You're wrong.
liked
You're
it, John. Thank you for reading that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So,
That
would you
was,
put this in the top 250?
Oh wait, do you got any trivia or anything, Denny?
No,
Or
there's
did you
not
just
really
give up?
anything.
Yeah, I would.
I kind of gave up. I
Much.
looked. There's really not like there's not very many articles. Most of the stuff is just reviewers talking about how they interpreted the film and how they followed, like TC did, sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't.
I got to
finish
read
it.
the. I luckily went in blind, didn't read shit. So for the did good on this one because I almost watched the trailer, and then I was like, nah, fuck it, just watch the movie.
But there's no like
Uh,
making of. I mean, they were supposed to. There's like a little bit where it's like this movie was supposed to film in South Korea, but then they had
really?
to move it because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But they don't say why.
So they went to New Hampshire. No, I'm just kidding.
No, where was?
This is Keene. This is filmed in Keene.
Dude,
Where
we're fucking
was it? Where was
Nashua,
it
kid.
Here's Manchester.
We're in
Manchester.
Nashua, kid. We got the fucking camera out,
Oh
guy.
man.
Don't tell anybody in Lowell, am I right?
Somebody just walks up to him. What are your Orientals doing here?
Yeah, who are you guys?
Boy, there's a lot of Orientals
There's
here.
a
All
lot
of a
of
sudden, that's what my dad says all the time. My God, it's like, Dad, we don't use that word.
Yeah, the Orientals. My grandmother used that in the past. as well.
God, I could just see that. So,
Yeah.
but where
Yeah.
did I thought I
Yeah.
just assumed it was filmed in Japan.
It is.
But-
It was filmed in
Okay.
Hiroshima.
Okay.
Right, so it wasn't on location.
I gotta say, it
No,
looks
no.
pretty cool. I'd like to go visit.
I thought they were gonna like bring in something to do with like Hiroshima and
Right,
you know
the actual
usually
the bomb?
Japanese movies have a little tie to the bomb a lot of the time.
Huh.
Yeah.
At least to the movies that make it their way to this country. Maybe that's because
That's what we
that's
just
what
used
we
to.
know.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's maybe so.
But no,
but
I've
based in
seen how much of
Hiroshima,
it.
but nothing going there with the
Yeah,
you know,
they got
kinda
other things
strange.
besides the bomb, Denny.
Yeah, they got
it's
mudslides.
weird.
They got
That's weird.
mudslides.
Mudslides,
Hey,
probably due to erosion because of the bomb, if that helps.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, John puts it together every time. for
Yeah,
us.
right. Yeah,
Top 250 no.
Yeah.
not for me. I think it should be for you, TC.
Yeah,
if I may
I'd
speak
say
for you.
yeah.
Nice.
I'd put it
Yeah,
in mine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
I watch it again.
Nice. Good
So,
stuff.
yeah.
The list, or this isn't the list. The podcast did you right for once there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
No,
yeah, it did.
if
It
it
did.
at least speaks to one of us, that's victory.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a good time. And then next one we got is even better.
Oh my God. I've been waiting for this for so long. I thought we were going to wait out. They're supposed to be putting Aliens out on 4K, but
That's right.
they kind of paused that for some reason. So,
Oh, really?
Oh, well.
Okay.
I bet they have it 4K on like stream. I own it, but I might just rent it too if they have like a UHD, like streamable one sort of thing.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
gonna go on a binge here eventually we want to do Licorice Pizza and Worst Person in the World.
Let's watch
Yes,
all the Alien
but
movies until we watch a
Aliens
bad
first.
one, and then we need to stop. Does that
Okay.
sound good?
That sounds
we
really
got-
good.
minute.
Correct
That's
me
great.
if I'm wrong. We got
Yeah.
so 2 of them are on the list because we skipped over Aliens a long time ago.
Wait, we're gonna do Alien then Aliens.
Yeah,
Those
Alien
are both
is higher
good
up.
as far as people know.
Alien and then Aliens.
And then
Right.
Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection, and then
Okay.
Alien Covenant. No, first.
now,
we do
what if I
Prometheus,
hate it by the
and
second
then-
one?
Wait a minute.
Well, then
Wait
you
a
won't
minute.
hate it by the second one.
Okay.
The third one.
The third
is
one you might hate it
controversial
by the
at
third
best.
one.
Third,
Like,
you might hate it.
The fourth
Okay.
one, you'll definitely
Definitely.
be yelling at us for
I
making you
mean,
watch it.
I assumed we were stopping it too because of the
All right.
reputation 3
David
has.
Fincher, man.
Oh,
David Fincher.
man.
I know. Yes.
All right.
We could,
well, that
we'll
sounds
we'll
fun.
decide it. At the very least, so actually for this podcast, next week we're doing The Great Dictator, and that was recorded at the end of 2021. So that's an old
That's
ass
right.
episode that's
So
been
who
sitting on my
knows
hard
what
Yeah,
we're
drive.
yeah,
talking
nobody's
about
going to
them.
listen to it, so just
Yeah.
throw that one away. Yeah. Anyways,
No, it's relevant, right? We're talking about, someone
Yeah,
should make
now
an
we've
equivalent
all
movie.
known.
nobody
with
wants to
Putin.
watch that. But think about,
Yeah.
well, I guess it's kind of funny. I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So Alien.
Alien.
TC.
All right.
Turn all the lights off. Turn all the
don't
lights
you
off.
worry. The lights will be off. The fucking sound's
Sound
going to be
up.
up.
Good.
And
Yep.
you have not
I got my
seen
new
this
TV
one. Are
with,
you saying you haven't
I
seen
have
this
never
one, right?
seen this.
Oh, great. That's
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep. So I will have my
Wow.
TV up. I'll have all that shit. You know I'm going to have it ready.
Yes.
Yep. For
Wow.
sure.
I'm
That's
excited.
It's
awesome.
going to be fun.
John's week is next week, or actually, yeah, John's. Let's switch yours, John. You can go for Aliens. I want TC since he hasn't seen it.
TC goes first if
For
he
all of
hasn't
them.
seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
That's
Sorry.
always the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be a fun time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That'll be
boys.
exciting.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Stop 'em.